In the year 865 AD, Viking warrior Ragnar led his warriors to Britain, yearning for gold, glory, and a battle worthy of legend. However, their landing brought an unforeseen horror. A mysterious virus from the east had swept across the land, turning countless people into bloodthirsty zombies. When Ragnar's fleet landed, the village was already silent and lifeless. Houses had collapsed, livestock lay dead, and the air was thick with the stench of decay. A young warrior stepped into the village, only to be tackled by a long-dead farmer. The farmer's eyes were lifeless, yet his mouth suddenly opened like a beast's maw, sinking its rotting teeth into the warrior's neck. The warrior screamed in agony as his comrades quickly hacked the creature in half. But soon, the warrior's body convulsed violently. His skin darkened, his pupils dilated, and within moments, he too became a zombie. Ragnar split his skull with an axe, his expression grim. "We are facing an enemy, more evil than the Christian armies." The sky darkened and the undead emerged from the shadows. They had once been English peasants, soldiers, even nobles, and monks. Now, they were mindless husks. The Vikings did not retreat. They were a people, born for battle. Forming a shield wall, they raised their axes and swords, engaging the horde in brutal combat. The zombies were overwhelming. For every one cut down, more took its place. Though fierce, the Vikings struggled against an enemy that felt neither pain nor fear. Finally, an old warrior's defenses faltered, his leg was torn apart, and he was devoured alive. Ragnar roared, cleaving through the undead to put his comrade out of his misery. But the tide of corpses kept coming. "Retreat! Back to the ships!" Ragnar bellowed. Fighting tooth and nail, they carved a bloody path back to the shore, finally reaching their longships. But the nightmare was far from over. Some warriors had been bitten. One by one they fell, convulsed, and turned. The Vikings had no choice but to throw them into the sea. Yet horrifyingly, even in the water, the infected continued to struggle, refusing to drown. Ragnar ordered the fleet north, determined to bring word of this nightmare back home. But en route, thick fog enveloped the sea, and out of the mist emerged an English warship, its deck swarming with the undead. Chaos erupted as the two ships collided, and a desperate battle unfolded in the storm. Ragnar swung his axe with fury, splitting zombie skulls as his warriors fell around him. Then, an abnormally strong zombie charged at him, clad in the armor of the English king. This was no ordinary undead. It was faster, stronger, and wielded a sword with deadly precision. Ragnar raised his shield just in time to block its strike, the impact forcing him back. With a furious roar, he hurled his axe at the creature, striking its skull. But to his horror, it did not fall. Instead, it yanked the axe from its head and lunged forward. Ragnar, with no time to hesitate, drew his dagger and, at the last moment, leaped, plunging the blade deep into the monster's eye. Last, the creature collapsed. The battle was won, but at what cost? Only a handful of Vikings remained, wounded and exhausted. The sea was littered with burning ships and floating corpses. Standing at the bow, Ragnar gazed into the black waters, knowing the nightmare was far from over. The virus had spread, carried by the winds, and soon the entire world would face the undead horror. He tightened his grip on his axe, his eyes blazing with resolve. If the gods still watched, they would bear witness to the Vikings' final battle.